Oh, thank you, Deputy Speaker. I must say that today it does feel like a big reach for those opposite, including the previous Speaker and the member who brought this motion, to be accusing those on this side of incompetence and division. Because if we look at conduct during this referendum debate, I think looking in the mirror for those on the other side when it comes to incompetence and division might be more to the truth of what's happened over the past few months. I want to particularly reflect on one part of this referendum debate and the actions of those opposite that I find particularly concerning, Deputy Speaker, and that is some public statements from those opposite that seem to be aimed at undermining the integrity of the AEC, our independent electoral body. The AEC is a world-leading electoral commission. It is an important democratic institution. It is independent, and it is in none of our interests to undermine the independence and the integrity of that institution. So we should not, and we cannot, let anyone get away with Trump-like statements that are aimed at undermining the integrity and the independence of the AEC. This type of behaviour does nothing but diminish trust in our elections and the processes of our elections. And I do ask those opposite, including the Leader of the Opposition, to reflect on their behaviour and their public statements that seem to go to undermining the trust of the AEC. All of us in this place, our entire country, benefits from having strong democratic institutions, having a strong electoral independent watchdog, and that is what the AEC is. Deputy Speaker, I do spend a lot of time in my role as Chair of the Joint Standing Committee on Electoral Matters on reflecting on our democratic institutions and particularly the role of the AEC. And so I thought in this context it was particularly important for me to raise that today and to talk about some of the broader implications, I think, of some of the debate that we had in the referendum. And I will note as well that our committee has recommended that for future elections we do have in place truth in political advertising laws. I think it is important that Australians can vote in an environment where they feel like they go to vote aimed with the facts. And again, I would ask all of those, particularly those opposite, to reflect on their behaviour during this referendum, to reflect on the information they put out and whether it would meet that test of truth in political advertising. These are questions for all of us. They are questions that go to the heart of how we conduct ourselves, and they are questions that go to the heart of how we do elections in this country. Deputy Speaker, I'm proud to say that on our side of the House we do respect democracy and democratic institutions. We put this question to the Australian people, as we should have, as Aboriginal people asked the Prime Minister to do. They came to him and they said, "We have been working on this for decades. Please put this question to the Australian people," and he had the courage to take that forward. Australians were asked to have their say. Now, are we disappointed with that result? Yes, we are. But do we respect that result? Do we respect the processes that led to that result? Absolutely we do. That is what democracy is about. Deputy Speaker, while the country didn't say yes, on Saturday night my community in Jagga Jagga did say yes. More than 450 volunteers worked across my community to have the conversations at a local level, knocking on doors, standing at train stations, hosting conversations with neighbours, handing out at polling booths, and I'm really proud of the work they did. I'm really proud of those conversations they had to explain this concept and to convince people to vote yes. And while we didn't see the result we hoped for beyond Jagga Jagga, I know that those people of goodwill, will continue to work to close the gap. Will continue to do all they can to build on what is a really positive community movement and carry that forward. I know that they will continue to stay engaged in the work that we all know we must do to support First Nations people and to support the change we need to see more broadly. So again, I thank them. It was a real privilege to stand alongside them and to campaign locally, and I am proud of the result that we did achieve in Jagga Jagga. Deputy Speaker, once again, I would just ask the opposition to think about whether these types of motions serve anything but trying to make them feel better about their behaviour over the past few months.